Fire Nation, what's going on? Everybody, welcome back to another instructional video with Project Zomboid. Today we're going to be covering mechanics. Let's get straight into it. Alright, without further ado, let's get straight into the items that you need to start out. The most important tools that you're going to need when working on vehicles is going to be a jack, lug wrench, screwdriver, wrench, and some sort of gas. So, there's two subcategories with vehicles. There's a heavy vehicle, there's a lighter vehicle. Here we have two examples. This truck is going to count as a heavy vehicle, so I'm unable to interchange heavy vehicle items such as the hood with this hood. I could take the hood off of this RV and replace it with the hood of this truck. Alright, so now that we've got our wrench in hand, our screwdriver handy, and the rest of our tools on our tool belt, let's go ahead and grab our spare parts also. Get ready for this work.
Soulja Boy, tell 'em, hop up out the bed, turn my swag on.
I jump into one of these vehicles. To do that, you're going to walk up to the hood and press your hotkey, which is going to be E as default. You can also right click and find your way to the part where it says vehicle mechanics. Things such as seats can actually be interchanged between either type of vehicles. This is one of the exceptions when it comes to interchanging specific parts between vehicles. So with our truck here, our hood is actually pretty damaged. So we have a few options on how to repair this. If we give it a right click, we can either have the option to uninstall it and replace it with a better hood. In this case, I have a high enough metal working and mechanics level where I can repair with the metal sheet. Now it'll tell you your chances of success and the potential repairs right here. You have multiple options just in case for different scenarios. Some options will give you less potential repairs and or chance of success. Your chance of success during these actions with mechanics all depends on how high of a mechanics level you are and or metalworking. So we can grab a metal sheet and come around to the hood, and we should be able to give this a good repair. This is going to protect our engine quite a lot. We can also take engine parts off of vehicles because of the fact that we are a level 5 in mechanics. As you can see, you need quite a lot of engine parts to repair engines, so it's really important not to damage your vehicles. In build 41.6, vehicles became a lot more squishy, so be careful with running into zombies. Also, running over zombies will damage your tires over time. If you right click on specific items, it can tell you certain information at the top here. Also, if you do the same with the engine, it'll tell you the overall condition of the engine. Right clicking on items will show you their performance level. There's 3 tiers. So if we right click on any of the parts on this truck here, most of them are going to be performance, which is the highest tier. So now let's say you want to replace this brake with a better brake. We can uninstall this tire, which is going to require a jack and a lug wrench. Now that you've finished taking off that tire, you now have access to removing your front suspension and or your brakes. A lot of these actions are going to require you to have certain crates and or magazines read already. As you can see, my character has amateur mechanic chosen, so I don't need to find those mechanic books off bat, and I also start and spawn with a point in the mechanics skill. As you can see, we could take off the headlight from this car, come over to this vehicle, remove the rear headlight, and then place this rear headlight back on our car, because they are technically just light bulbs. And replace anyone with any light bulb from any car. Same thing goes for the driver's seats and the front right seat. Upkeep on your vehicles is super important so that you never break down in the middle of hordes and you can find yourself from point A to B quickly and safely. Making sure your windows are at top tier shape is also important. It can only be done by interchanging them between vehicles. You can also repair your trunk space by right clicking on the trunk option here and doing the same thing. Some really important things to collect along the way throughout survival is duct tape and small metal sheets. These are going to be really good for trunk space. Fire Nation, here are some small tips for when you're driving. Make sure you keep the back of your car closed whenever you're driving, and I mean that for vehicles that have doors on the back such as this one. We're going to want to keep it closed because as it's driving and we're sitting here, it's going to actually deteriorate over time and the trunk space will lose space. This can be shown here on this vehicle as the trunk is at a very low inventory space, and that's because of the fact that the condition of the trunk is actually super low. So if we were to repair this, the trunk space would probably increase to maybe 400 to 500 space depending on the traits that you have. I would also recommend going organized as it increases your inventory space in vehicles and in your character's inventory. Also, another really good tip, if you're out and about looking for vehicles, look around on the ground for the keys before you smash in the window. There's about a 50% chance that you'll actually find the key on the ground, and then at that point all you need is a good engine and enough gas to get from point A to B. Once you get your first vehicle, you could start driving around and start working up your way to becoming a master mechanic.
At home and heads out in his car.
Now and then,
As the children play in a park, we see the man lose control of his car and crash through a wall.
that special place, and if I stayed too long, I'd probably.
But on the other side of the wall are the children. The car flips through the air, landing on them and crushing them instantly.
Here's another tip. If you find a vehicle that doesn't have the key, if you have electrical level 1 skill learned and mechanics level 2, you're able to actually hotwire the vehicle by holding down V for the option menu on the vehicle. Scroll up to hotwire engine and your character will begin to hotwire the car. The only downside to hotwiring cars is that you are unable to lock them any further, and they won't be able to use a key if you even find the key. So there's no way to unhotwire your car as of right now in build 41. If you're out and about and you find two vehicles that you want to take home, pull it up to the back vicinity of another car that you're trying to take that's in good condition. Hold V and click on this option here. It's going to attach this back car to the back of this so you can begin towing. And this car should pull this one. From time to time it's buggy, so watch as it might fall off. You can also do this with trailers and sometimes bigger vehicles behind smaller vehicles such as this one. Now, as you just heard, this vehicle had a tough time starting up. That's because the engine value is actually not at 100%. So if we look at this engine, even though it's at 84%, this gas tank is not at a good condition and this engine's not at the best condition. So you can get faulty startups like that, which can put you in a panic in a bad situation. So that's why it's really important to keep your engine at a high quality. And with all that being said, Fire Nation, I just do want to say, in recognition to our last video, I appreciate the feedback and the love that I've seen from our last video. We're going to keep this series going, guys. I'm really appreciative of it. The Fire Nation's always growing. We're always trying to stream on Twitch as much as possible, so give us a follow over there, give us a subscription here, turn on the notification bell for whenever I upload more. With that being said, Fire Nation, have a great rest of your day.